Hello, everyone. Today is a very special day since, with all of my effort, I am going to defend my very controversial pound for pound list. Spent a lot of time trying to make it as accurate as I possibly could, and there was a lot of argument about it. So I figured I would do like a little stream to kind of explain some of my thought processes on all of the placements and answer some of the questions people have because people had a lot of them. So yeah, and I'll also just like in general talk about arm wrestling drama and stuff that's going on. So yeah, I haven't done a stream in a while, so I thought I would do this. Let me first things first, just pull up the list. So I have it in front of me. All right. I also saw you, Houdini. Yes, I can do top 5 right and left, but it's very similar to my list because most of them, like, it was sort of accumulation of the right and left arm, but then it was sort of accumulation of the right and left arm, but most of the placements were made off of like, okay, what's their better arm, right or left? Okay, where would I put them? That was kind of how it was made. Drew, you didn't miss anything. I've been live for all of 30 seconds. Also, Zephyr, remember when you were making fun of me for picking Phillip? Interesting. And it was not close. Let's be abundantly clear. Not close. Didn't even feel him. Morning after I talked to Phillip, he said he felt like nothing. Like he wasn't sore, arm, hand, nothing. Like he said, it was riser, a little bit sore, but basically had no resistance, could have flashed him all 3 of the rounds. Not close. Not close. All right. So maybe I just go like, should I like share my screen maybe? I don't know how to do it. One second. I told you in chat, I changed my mind right after. No. That's a really great point, but then you changed it again because then you said, oh, well, Sandra said he was tired. So yeah, I'm back on Matt. No. You can't weasel out of your prediction. And I remember because I was like, dude, if only because Phillip is, Sandra was having excuses saying he played basketball the day before. Phillip worked out Wednesday, lifted concrete for 5 hours on Thursday and Friday, pinned Sanders with no resistance on Saturday. So that was Phillip's schedule leading up. So it was much more difficult. The list is correct if Devon is in the top on the pound for pound. So yeah, your list is perfect. Well, okay, not that simple. Anyway, we'll go person by person. So we got Rustam at 15. Rustam, let me also pull up arm wrestling so that way I can get like the records in front of me here. So Rustam, I do count his loss to Paul Lynn, and it's impossible not to. I do have to acknowledge that as a loss, even though he should have probably beat him. It does count as a loss just because, he did lose. And then Orakli, he did lose 3-2, but he was just coming back from his injury, so I give him some leniency. Came back, destroyed Paul Lynn, destroyed Sandras, and in my opinion was on his way to beating Todd Hutchings before he got hurt. But let's just say he wasn't going to beat him potentially. Then, let's just say he was close with Todd Hutchings. I think that puts him on the list. And it was really a fight for 15th place between Orakli and Rustam. They had a very close match, but I think Rustam did much better against Todd. So I narrowly gave it to Rustam. And I do believe, if you were to ask me like what he's currently ranked, it's 15, but I believe he is going to go up the rankings because I think that placement is going to age well. I think he can beat a lot of guys. So yeah. Let's see. Not Henry. I just said I changed my mind. Oh, yeah. It was ironic. Okay. Yeah, totally. Yeah. You were just joking. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I could do like a overall, like no pound for pound, but instead just like the 15 strongest dudes. Yeah. Maybe not today, but that would be fun to maybe do. Okay. So next placement, Daniel Prokopchuk. A lot of people asking me, why isn't Daniel higher? And my reason being is because he lost to Makarov on right arm. Decently close, but not super close if we're being honest. Lost to Jacques was not close at all, but losing to Jacques in his category I don't think is bad. And then he lost to Mindaugas, and Mindaugas is ranked above him. So if we're really going to be complaining, it would be more about why isn't Mindaugas higher before we would say why isn't Prokopchuk higher, because Mindaugas is the very next ranking at 13. Mindaugas did worse against Makarov than Prokopchuk, but he did beat Prokopchuk. And head-to-head, I kind of respect quite a bit. So I will put Mindaugas one up, but again, Mindaugas, I haven't seen him really beat any heavier opponents, and he's like very, very, very competitive in his weight category. He's like one of the better guys, but he's not by no means he's dominant. So yeah, let's see. Okay, who made that list? So it was me, Alex Bakuradze, basically just us. We got like a few other opinions, but it was primarily me and Alex Bakuradze. I made like a list and I sent it to him and I said, what are your thoughts on this? And we moved stuff around based on what he was kind of giving me input on. But frankly, we agreed on like my initial list was very similar to our final list. Yeah. Levan is ranked 1, 2, and 3 on the right. Okay. See, you say Engen is the best pound for pound. He would tell you John is. He would not consider himself the best pound for pound. Best pound for pound is someone. So this was another thing too. It was very easy to say, okay, so Daniel Prokopchuk weighs 70 kilos. If he weighed 140 kilos and was twice as strong in every area, he would completely destroy Levan. And that's 100% true. But if you make a pound for pound list like that, it's kind of fucking lame because it's all light guys. Because the truth of it is all light guys. Those are the best pound for pound guys. So my pound for pound list was who is most dominant in their category, who has the most impressive manner in which they won, and basically like who has the most like impressive resume, right? And also ability to beat a heavier opponent. So this is kind of how I judged my list, because if I didn't do that, it's all little people. That's the truth of it. The little guys are the pound for pound strongest, and it's not up for discussion. So like I had Todd Hutchings kind of ripping me a new one in my Instagram messages saying like this list is bullshit, But like if you're thinking about it like an engineer, what he's saying is totally true. But if you're thinking about it like let's make an actual list that's interesting to talk about, I think I made a much more interesting list. Arson's pound for pound all time, but this is not all time list. I don't even know who the fuck Mirabek Urisain is. So that's where we're at with that. I'm going to be honest. So right here, this was another one. A lot of people saying Nugo. So Nugo weighs 230 pounds. Fact. He does not weigh much less than his opponents or any less than his opponents. And his current resume, if I just pull up Nugo, or it's Nugzari, he beat Matt Mask. He beat Ogrzhan Kochak. We have no clue how good Ogrzhan is. He beat RVJ, but RVJ is not an impressive win at the very elite level. He lost to Petro and he beat Matt. It's just not that. And he also beat Krasimir and WAF. I'm mostly going East versus West matches, but I'll a little bit be honest with like the eye test and like see other organizations and stuff. But yeah, Nugo certainly should not be on the pound for pound list, only because his best win right now is Matt Mask. And lots of guys beat Matt Mask. So he needs to sort of get some more wins under his belt. And I'm not going to say that he isn't going to age well. Like I absolutely think he is going to win more matches and deserve it eventually. But right now, yeah, his best win is Matt, and plenty of people have beaten Matt in his category. Matt would not be in my top 100 on the pound for pound list. So beating Matt in his category, while impressive, does not earn him a spot on the pound for pound list, especially given the fact that he has lost to Petro Maharain. So really, your question should be, where is Petro? If Nugo is going to be on it, Petro's going to be on it, right? Because since Petro beat Nugo, all he has done is beat Zurab and Lachlan very easily. So it's kind of like it would make no sense to not put Petro on it if we also put Nugo on it. So that's why Nugo is not on the list. It does make sense that if Daniel doubled his weight, his strength would certainly. Yes, I get that. But if we're talking pound for pound, it's like, oh, if everyone was the same weight category, per body weight, it's definitely Daniel Prokopchuk on raw strength. But yes, if Daniel Prokopchuk started bulking like crazy, every pound he gains, he's not maintaining that strength to weight ratio. 60 kg Kazakh dude who's never been pinned. He competes every few months at every WAF tournament. Yeah. Well, the reason why he's never been pinned is because he's going up against 60 kilo guys. How many guys are 60 kilo? Like, really? How many guys are 60 kilo and are obsessed with strength sports? Not that many. So 60 kg category is incredibly uncompetitive, which is probably why he's so good. So probably something you didn't think about. I pulled Arson and he's not that good. He pinned me in 3 seconds and it should have been 1. Which Arson are you talking about? Kachatrian or Arsen Liliev? Because Arsen, you did not stop Arsen Liliev for no 3 seconds. It's not, yeah. Who is the most dominant super heavyweight is a bit problematic because there isn't a limit for super heavyweight. So this was another thing. Why isn't Levan higher? So Levan is the most dominant champion we have in any weight category. He will never lose. He will retire undefeated. But he is 400 pounds, and all of his opponents weigh much less than him. He is on the most steroids. He is on way more steroids than all of his opponents. Because of that, I do need to judge him a little bit harshly because he does have an advantage over the people he's gone against. His last 3 opponents, the heaviest one's been Jerry Cataret, and he's been against Hermes twice and Devon twice, and he's had no less than 100 pounds on every opponent he's ever had. So because of that, it's a little hard to put him on a pound-for-pound list very high, but he is the most dominant champion. So it's a little, difficult on one side or the other to really know how I should rank him. I think 11 is pretty fair. I do think he deserves to be on the list just because of how dominant he is. He's in a difficult category and is doing very well in it. But he is also heavier than all of his opponents. And I have to acknowledge that when I rank him on the pound-for-pound list. So because of that, I don't think 11 is that crazy. I think 11 is pretty reasonable. Everyone overrates Matt. In my opinion, I agree. Nugo and Chafee would not be close. I think Nugo would get absolutely destroyed because Dave's hand is way too strong. So Nugo would not roll out of his hand. Okay, so John Cal, let me know what you think is confusing about it. I'm here to explain my placements to anybody who's confused. Here's the thing. Everyone is on steroids. Not everyone is on the amount Levan is on. And I'm not taking anything away from Levan because he's incredible. And everyone wishes he could be in his spot. But I'm just saying on a pound-for-pound list for what's most impressive, I have to take that into consideration. I have to. I think almost all superweights, even if they reach Levan's weight, would not beat Levan. That's also why he's on the pound-for-pound list, because he is good. He is smart. He is a good arm wrestler. It's not like he's just some dumb big guy. There's plenty of 400-pound guys who are super strong who will never be as good as Levan, which is why he needs to be on the list. Some people were simultaneously saying he needs to be number 1, and there were also people saying, why is he on the list at all? So that's why he's on the list, because he is really good. If everyone was 400 pounds, he'd be number 1 still, right? He has been the most efficient 400-pound athlete we've ever seen. But there's only so many 400-pound athletes, which is why we need to take it with a grain of salt. There's only so many guys who can even challenge him. Like me, if I took every steroid, if I trained perfectly, I physically cannot defeat Levan. I'm just not capable of doing it. Versus someone like Mindaugas, I could, in theory, beat Mindaugas. If I trained really well and I was very smart and I took a bunch of steroids, I could, in theory, beat Mindaugas. I physically cannot beat Levan. It's just not possible for me. So that's sort of why I need to look at Levan with a grain of salt, But just structurally, I'm incapable of beating Levan. And most of the people in this, writing comments right now, we are all structurally incapable of beating Levan. We're just not genetically gifted enough. So, yeah. And also, when Levan was lighter, he was losing frequently. He lost to Krasimir, or no, I think he beat him, but it was very close. No, he did lose to Krasimir. He was 140 kilo. Krasimir was like 110, and he lost. And when he was 160 kilo, he was very close with Gennady, again, who weighs much less than him. So we do need to take him with a grain of salt because when he was going up against people who were closer in weight with him, he was struggling. So, yeah, and I do think Levan's on a whole different level now, but still. And also, Vitaly Levan stopped him, and he weighed substantially less. So, yeah. Could Prime John slip from Levan? Probably not. Being realistic, probably not. Yeah. I mean, if a prime, perfect Dave Chafee couldn't slip from him. But then again, I don't know how a prime perfect Dave Chafee goes up against a prime perfect John. I have no clue. So yeah. Anyway, so that was the explanation behind the Levan placement. I think I should explain the Devon placement a bit, since a lot of people were angry about the Devon placement. Devon is number one because he is so good at 105, we no longer want to watch him compete. He is so good at 115, we no longer want to watch him compete. He is the number 4 super heavyweight on the left arm, despite weighing about the same as all of them and just having started training it. And he is the number 2 super heavyweight on the planet, very dominantly, and he was in that position while weighing substantially less than his opponents. So I give him that placement not because of the last year, but because of 2023. And no proof since then that he isn't still that same guy. Devon's got 3 losses. One was to Gennady, which he's completely destroyed him, gotten him back. And then the other 2 were against Levan, who we all kind of say, it's okay to lose to Levan because he's Levan. Besides that, he's 15-0. So it's very, very, very hard to take away from Devon just how good and consistent he's been. I mean, Oleg Petrenko, Dadikan beat Todd Hutchings pretty comfortably, who got defeated by Oleg Petrenko pretty comfortably. And then Devon took LSD and absolutely destroyed Oleg Petrenko while high off LSD. That's our pound for pound number 1. And if you have an issue with that, you just don't like Devon. That's the only explanation. Because the truth of it is, I don't think it's up for discussion. Like, that was the one placement on the list that I knew would be controversial. But if you're not biased and you're really being fair and genuine and honest with yourself, he is clearly the pound for pound number 1. It's not up for discussion. Whatever you think about him as a person, that can exist over here. Like, here are my thoughts about Devon as a person. Here are my thoughts of him as an athlete. And I cut that off over here to look at how good he was as an athlete. He is the pound for pound number 1. My opinions on him as a person are completely irrelevant to that. And as a person, I think he's perfectly fine. I don't like Devon. I don't dislike Devon. I think he's a cool guy. I've spent time with him. He seems genuine to me. Fake Henry would probably disagree with that. But yeah, Devon's perfectly reasonable guy, but he's an absolutely exceptional athlete and a very good ambassador for the sport, in my opinion. But anyway, Devon's pound for pound number 1. It shouldn't be a discussion. I can promise you he did not use LSD for performance. Yeah, LSD does not help with that. What about the worst pound for pound list? Wow. See, that's the kind of thing where the problem is that list will be, okay, so realistically, that list is it's sort of like, who do you want? Like, I can say the next guy off the street's the worst pound for pound, right? If I'm going to do the worst pound for pound who have ever competed at East versus West, that's a little more interesting now. But yeah, there are some names that come to mind, but I don't think I want to I don't want to start shit. But yes, I could definitely come up with, I think I know my number 1, and it may not be who you guys think. I actually do have a number 1 pick, but anyway, yeah, worst pound for pound might be kind of funny. Devon is the best athlete to ever exist. I agree. Not in all sports, but in arm wrestling, he is our best athlete ever. Okay. I would put Devon over pound for pound Johnson. I don't think anyone could challenge Devon at the same way. I would agree. If Prime John were here, he's number 2 in my opinion. I believe Devon against Oleg Petrenko, that Devon at 105 is beating John at 105. It's probably closer than some new fans think, but I do believe that. You are straight up wrong about LSD not being used for performance. LSD and mushrooms on low doses have been used as performance-enhancing drugs for a long time. LSD gives you energy. I don't believe that he was using a low dose. Let's just put it like that. I think he was probably using it because he wanted a really intense experience. Regardless, let's just fucking take LSD out of the equation. He literally stopped him in the center of the table and talked to him. He is way better than Oleg Petrenko. It's by a really wide margin. So, yeah, just take LSD out of the equation. He completely destroyed him. So, yeah. Let's see. Kardashian should be up there on the worst pound for pound. Kardashian, I think, is the most infamous example. But there is a worst pound for pound who's a good bit worse. Mendy Volvan. That is actually not a bad pick. Lost to Derek Smith pretty comfortably. And Alex Kardashian would starch Derek Smith. Very bad. So, but even then, Derek Smith ain't the worst. So, I mean, Derek Smith just beat Saray pretty badly, and Saray weighed more than him. So there is that. Most people can't walk on a tab of LSD, and Devon beat fucking Oleg Petrenko. There you go. Derek beats Saray, exactly. So we can't. No, it's official. Derek is at a very worst case scenario. He's number 3 because Saray and Mehdi of Volban are there. All right, we gotta give some credit. Derek has won matches before. All right. We should have Devon arm wrestle on every judge, see which one gives him the best chance to be. I think that this is a good idea. Bob Anderson, fucking reach out to Devon with that. Get him on some new shit. Because I'm going to be honest, we need new Devon drugs. Because we need something special for Levan. Steroids ain't cutting it. All right. Let's see. I got Saray at my number 1 pound for pound. Or, I mean, I guess you mean the number 1 worst pound for pound. That's not a bad pick. Saray's not a bad pick. I still think I have a pick better than Saray, but I'm going to keep it to myself. All right. I'm just stopping by to say hey, and man, I'm so hurt I'm not on the list. Listen, I did put a woman on there because I was thinking I had made the whole list of all men, and I didn't even think about the women's division. I was like, you know what? Maybe a woman should be on the pound for pound. I was like kind of looking through, and then I was like, wait a minute. Fia has to be on the list. Champion right and left in her weight category, beat Rosa Maria Acosta very easily, and has never really been properly tested in a single match in her weight category. Absolutely destroying it, and is now going to be moving up category. And I think she will be moving up very successfully. So absolutely, Fia Rysek had to be on the list because, I mean, very, very, very impressive. I mean, if she were a man doing all of the same things, she would be in a very high placement. But the women's category is less competitive. So I had to put her lower. But the truth of it is she had to be on the list. And honestly, I think I'm surprised there's not more punchback about her only being 10. I was thinking about maybe putting her up a few spots. But if she faces Sarah and beats Sarah, I would definitely bump her up at least 2 or 3. Hey, man, big question. Will arm wrestling split up considering Russian athletes will soon join Armatura? Armatura has been around for a while, and they're not all joining it. So arm wrestling might split up, but if it splits up, it has nothing to do with Armatura, is my opinion on that. Devon beating Oleg so badly scared him forever, for sure. All right. How tall is Georgi Svetkov? Probably like 6'2", 6'3". The thing is, the only time I've met Georgi and like been thinking about his height, he was limping Georgi. He wasn't standing up straight. And the thing with Georgi is he kind of has this little hunch. So because of that, like if you look at him, he seems shorter. But like, yeah, Georgi is like pretty tall. He just doesn't stand up straight. Similar to Devon. Devon also hunches, and he's walking around barefoot all the time. Like people think he's a lot shorter than he is. But if you say, "Hey, Devon, can you stand up as straight as possible?" and he really fucking all the way up, he's real tall. Super Serum Henry, I don't know what you're talking about. 100% perfect choice, no complaints and no notes. Listen, I need to like I was thinking about also maybe putting Barbora, but Barbora is somewhat dominant in her category, but she's not lighter than her opponents. So I was thinking about Barbora, but there's just and Gabby as well. 80-kilo Gabby Vasconcelos would be on the list, but super heavyweight Gabby is not. Let's see. Hit the like button. There you go. Henry, read this. You will understand. Matt Rhodes mentioned Armatura exploded in the last month and started having long-term plans. I mean, yeah, maybe, but I still just think listen, if you don't speak English and you don't have any English speaking anything, people like me are not really going to have access to even knowing how to watch your event, which will always put a cap on how big it will be. And it will also not only, it'll not bring in American dollars. So I know the Armatura people are not making very much money, which is the entire problem why Armatura won't supersede East vs. West. They're just niche right now because they don't have English speakers. Can Rebaz top roll Philip Larson? That's actually, I'm going to be called a little bit delusional, and I'm going to be called a Philip Glazer, but the truth of it is, I don't think he can. And I actually think the amount of people who can top roll Philip is very short. I'm not saying he would not beat Philip Larson. I'm just saying he will not top roll Philip Larson. I think it might be flat wristed side pressure. I think he might press. But I'm not sure Revaz can top roll Philip Larson, but Revaz would certainly beat Philip Larson. So yeah. More than half of all money paid for pay-per-view in arm wrestling content is from the West. It's way more than half. It's probably 90+%. So it's not, I mean, if we're talking West is Western Europe and North America, it's 95%. I mean, it's not even close. Because most people in Georgia can't afford to pay the pay, like they just can't buy the pay-per-view. It's just too expensive. Because I mean, a Georgian makes about $2.50 a day or an hour. So, like if you work at a grocery store, you work an 8-hour shift. At the end of it, you can buy the pay-per-view. If we're being real, you're gonna just pirate the shit, and I don't blame a Georgian for pirating it. Is the truth of it. The shit's expensive for them, so I see where they're coming from. Patricia for 60 kg will be the other perfect female, super lightweight, and wins open in North America with ease. Interesting. The only thing I'm skeptical about that is when I hear like a story that's that crazy is what's the level of competition? You know, is she going up against arm wrestlers' girlfriends? Like, I'm sort of a little skeptical because, like, for example, my girlfriend, she's 6'4", and she can literally off the couch beat women arm wrestlers. She's just that strong. So the level of women's arm wrestling is much lower than the level of men's arm wrestling. So because of that, you need to sort of show that like you can beat the elite women, because the elite women, the level is high. But the non-elite women, the level is much lower. Is Gennady rich, though? Yes, he is. I know it's way more than half, but that was trying to be nice to the East. Exactly. You were trying to be nice, but if we're being real, it's not even close. Levan can afford to pay all the Georgians who want the pay-per-view. Listen, there's a lot of Georgians who want the pay-per-view. I was in there at Tbilisi. That was like 1,000 people in there. 6'4" girlfriend is crazy. Henry has a submissive kink. I could promise you not, you know. Henry, you're going to be the shortest part. You know, it's funny. So if you put it into like a height category or a calculator, like how tall our kids will be, our girls will be my height. It'll be like 5'11", probably maybe 6 foot. And the boys will be like 6'5". So I will be shorter than all of my children, most likely, if we have kids. Yes, I am fixing my DNA. I got these little tiny hands, and I'm only 5'11". So this is not okay. I needed a large, big old woman to fix my genetics, and I found her. So now my children, she literally genetically is more gifted than Vitaly, straight up, like not even close. Her lever, her hand size for a woman is not even close. Like she is, her kids, if she had kids with Vitaly, holy shit, they would pop out the most fucking ridiculous things you've ever seen. Like they would straight up be pumping out mutants. But unfortunately, I will dilute her genetics with my little tiny baby hands and my stout 5'11" height. But our kids will still be impressive. That's the crazy part, because her genetics alone, that's all I need. Okay. So yeah, our kids will be pretty impressive. Henry dating Barbora. No, she has bigger hands and a longer lever and is taller than Barbora. She is genetically more gifted in every single way. Like her friend, not arm wrestler, but she trains like, you know, I mean, fucking gym girl. Like she just did a bodybuilding show. She's like 5'6", 160 pounds, like fucking strong, right? Really, really, really strong. And literally my girlfriend, when she is drunk or stoned, can pin her like she doesn't even exist. Like it's not close. And my girlfriend doesn't train at all. She's literally just fucking off the couch, pure brute strength. Hand is ridiculous. Like even when I arm wrestle her, I would prefer to set the hook than top roll her because her hand is that strong. Now that being said, I can't top roll her, but I need to work a little bit. So yeah, she will be on the pound for pound list shortly. Let's see. 5 inches shorter than your girlfriend. That's cool, TBH. Yeah. I saw this 6'6", 350-pound natty black guy at the pharmacy the other day. It's crazy how big some people are, Lamau. Speaking of pounds, Henry, you could use a few extra. Hey man, I'm not that tidy, man. Okay, I'm like 183. All right, but I could use a few extra pounds. I would love to be like a lean 200, maybe. Yeah, have kids with Vitaly for the sake of the sport. Listen, If she did, that would be the Levan Slayer. That's the Levan Slayer. Like, fuck anybody else. That is right there. Like, all these other people would pale in comparison. How do you not include Samusha in your pound for pound ranking? He's the undisputed number one. Fucking Roy, did you look at the list? Samusha's number 5. And Samusha's number 5 for good reason. Because even though he wins every match, he is not a dominant champion. There's a difference between the two. He has been like this fucking close to losing many times. So because of that, it's a little hard to put him at a little any higher than that, especially when you look at who's above him. But yes, Samusha's on the pound for pound list. Like, did you look at the thing? Do you do list of best arm wrestlers of all time? Honestly, I'm not the guy to make that list. Like, have a Neil Pickup do it, have an Engen do it, have Ray do it. Like, I'm not the guy. Is your girlfriend heavier than? Yes, she is, in fact, heavier than me. But she's 5 inches taller than me, all right? Like, sort of expected. I'm not too big, so. All right. Kredecha can top roll Philip. Honestly, this is going to be one of my most delusional takes ever. I think Philip beats Kredecha right now. And I know some people were going to say, like, whoa, what do you mean, man? You know, Philip's been arm wrestling 2 years. But I don't see a single person Kredecha's beaten where I'm supposed to go like, whoa, I take it back. I apologize. Kredecha did. So because of that, Philip can't win. Like, I know some people are going to say, oh, well, you know, Kredecha beat Hermes. Yeah, Kredecha beat Hermes right after the match where Matt won a round on Hermes. Philip beat Matt way better than Hermes beat Matt. Not even close at the time. So I think Philip might have beaten that Hermes. Now, not today Hermes, but that Hermes. So yeah, do you agree with me? Alex is pound for pound number one arm wrestling jobber. I don't know what that is. Matt Rhodes is live in 30 minutes. We're heading over there after this. Henry, do you talk with him? I've never spoken with him, but yeah, I'll probably end this stream when he goes live. I think that might be a good idea. Too much height may not be yeah. So this is true. Like, you don't want too big of a height difference. This is why I bet $2,000 on Nugo to beat Matt Mask. I'm very proud of that bet, because when you are so much taller than your opponent and you have to come down so far, they actually start getting the advantage. So like, a lot of people were saying, like, you know, Matt's going to have the leverage over Nugo. It's the exact opposite. Nugo will have the leverage over Matt, because if you are starting opened up and your opponent is starting right here, and he does what Nugo does, which is the moment they say go, he just slides back. Well, now Matt's here and Nugo's here. So there's no way to win. So as long as you like slightly keep your wrist, it's very easy. Well, okay, you just now thought he would lose to Matt. I mean, like, you got to understand how wrong you were, Zephyr. Like you were over here and the truth was like over here. So you got to have like a little grain of salt to you, right? Like, okay, I thought Matt would win and Philip didn't feel him. Okay, maybe I'm wrong about Philip. Just letting you know that. Like, you are probably one of the people who think Reichert can beat Philip, and you're going to be wrong again, because I hope that match happens, because that will be probably the ultimate payday. I would bet more money than any of you will ever think I would bet that Philip will absolutely destroy Reichert. It's not even close. It's a complete like level. I think right now, Reichert and Matt. That's a good match. Reichert and Matt. But Philip and Reichert, not close. Not close at all. There would be no way Reichert keeps his wrist, and Reichert is not as good here as Terrence is. And also, he needs to be better here than Terrence is, because if Philip rematched Terrence, he would destroy him right now. He just didn't know what to do. He just top rolled, and his solution was to top roll harder. He now knows he needs to kind of come in with his shoulder and edge in and keep his pronator and drop that. Message me on Instagram. As much money as you want. Message me on Instagram. I think Reichert would beat Matt. I agree. I think Reichert would beat Matt, but I'm not 100% sure. Like, Matt might absolutely break out of that hand, because I'm telling you right now, Matt's top roll is a lot better than Pavlo's, and that first round, not even close. Like, completely took his wrist very easily. And then the very next round, Reichert barely cranked out. Matt would completely flatline Pavlo, in my opinion. So, yeah. Okay, 100% Reichert board. Message me on Instagram. As much money as you want. As much money as you want. I'm in. Philip has a top roll right hand, no hook or press. He does have a press now. He didn't used to, but you saw it a little bit again. Like, he could have bulldozed Matt 3 times in a row, is what he told me, but he wanted to kind of show some levels to his game, show that he was a little more skilled than maybe people were giving him credit for. So he didn't just like want to bulldoze him. He wanted to kind of feel it out and show that he had some skills beyond bulldozing. So like he top rolled him and transitioned for a press like that. You could see that round 2. But yeah, like he doesn't need it. I'm telling you right now, I think he just bulldozes Reichard because he's a level stronger. It's a level mismatch. It's not styles. It's not this, not that. It's just he is much stronger. I agree. Reichard and listen, Reichard will lose to Philip, but it's only because Philip's really good. Reichard's really good too. It's just, Philip is 400 pounds and really good. Reichard is 300 pounds and really good. That's the problem, right? So yeah. Thoughts on Philip calling out Corey West? I think Philip will win. I think it's a somewhat interesting match. People think that Corey West is some people are like, whoa, man, way too soon, man. Like I was saying this in for Atlantic City. I was like, Philip and Corey West is a good match right now. And everyone's like, whoa, man, pump the brakes, dude. But Corey West lost to John. Right now, Philip would destroy the John that Corey West faced. So Corey West needs to be a lot better than the Corey West that faced John. I can tell you right now, because that's not close right now. Philip Larson and that John, Philip would destroy him. And I know a lot of you disagree with that, which is why it's so fun. But yeah, I'm telling you right now, it's not even up for discussion. He would, in my opinion, well, it's up for discussion. In my head, it's not up for discussion. I think Philip will absolutely starch him. And honestly, I think Matt might beat Corey. Set up Matt and Corey. But I think Corey would probably contain him. But Corey's wrist, the problem is his fingers are very short. I've measured hand to hand with him. His hand is thick, but his fingers are short. And because of this, Philip would get a lot of wraparound because he's got the long fingers. He can deal with the thick thumb. Reichard or Philip would, Corey would not get the wraparound. His hand would be like this gripping Philip because Philip has that thick thumb, but he's got the long fingers as well. So he's like this, basically already open right here. He's already taken his wrist. So Corey's going to need to know how to flop press. And I don't think once Philip knows that he's taking your wrist and all you can do is press him, he's much more difficult unless you've got a lot of fucking elbow integrity like this. And, very few people have that just unrelenting elbow integrity to lose your wrist and hold on the losing side. And Philip's much better at dealing with that now and knows how to deal with it. So I'm just saying, maybe difficult. Let's see. Corey contained Tobias, and Corey has a stronger hook right-handed. Who says Corey has a stronger hook right-handed? Based on what? And Corey did not contain Tobias. He lost 4-2. He couldn't even slip him some of the rounds. So I don't know. Yeah. Once again, Corey lost to John. Corey got top rolled by John, and I'm pretty damn sure Philip's top roll is better than John's right now. So, yeah. Is Reichard getting another match in Switzerland? We need to see more of him. Should be against Matt Mask or Philip Larson. Totally agree. This would be awesome. I don't know if he's getting another match. I know a lot of the matches from Switzerland, but I don't know if they're going to add more. But I know of I think 10. So I think they're done. I mean, I hope they add this. I've told Dexter, set this match. I mean, literally, they're already fucking chirping on Instagram. It's prospect v. prospect. Ran a poll. It was damn near 50-50. I don't see what we're waiting for. Set this thing up. And I know they're going to talk shit. It's going to be good. Kimbo versus Ustinov. Ustinov would win. I watched Michael's live stream. He said it there. He said what there? Oh, he said, okay, he said Corey's hook is better right hand than left. Okay. I mean, even then, that's the thing. He won't ever be in the hook. That's the problem. Like, I get if it were to go on a hook with Philip, he would fucking flash him. But he won't get there, right? Do you think you could beat Philip if you use two arms? I no longer think this. I did think this before, but Philip has improved this an overwhelming amount. So I don't think I'm beating Philip with two arms. Yeah, Corey would overwhelm Larson in the hook. 100%. You are not hooking Philip Larson. And this is the same reason why Reichard's not going to win. Because Reichard needs to have a fucking gritty veteran flop press on the losing side. Just and he just doesn't have that the way Terrence Opperman does. You need years in the sport for that. For now, I would rather see Reichard versus Matt. for Eastern 20, then versus Philip. They're both new. I don't want them to face each other. See, okay, here's the thing. If you do Reichert and Matt, it sets up for a better Philip and Matt, you know? Because if Reichert beats Matt, it's like, oh man, they both beat Matt. Boom, set this thing up. And then if Philip or if Reichert loses to Matt, then we know, okay, you know, the match shouldn't have ever happened. So I think Reichert and Matt, I would struggle to pick the winner, right? Probably Reichert. But, you know, with Philip and Reichert, I mean, once again, I just think it's different levels. See, okay, this isn't true. He gave up more weight against Derek Smith, and Derek couldn't slip him. So it has nothing to do with weight. Philip is just good at arm wrestling. You know, probably Morozov, you know, Devon, Levan, right? A few people, but not that many. This would be the worst thing he could do. If he gripped low, there would be zero chance he could turn it inside. Like Corey told, because when I told him in Atlantic City, he'd be like, man, I'll just grip him low and go sideways. But gripping Philip low would not be the way to beat him, because you in some way need to keep your wrist in order to beat Philip, or you need to just have unrelenting amounts of side pressure without your wrist, which if you have unrelenting amounts of side pressure without your wrist, you'd want to just grip high and press. So grabbing low would be even worse for Corey than grabbing high. You know, sort of. I don't think I mean, this is why it's like when people say, oh, I'm not going to train my biceps, I don't get why you wouldn't, but I don't really think you need to. Two hands versus Samusha. Probably Samusha. I mean, well, actually, no. I was going to say he's got that short lever. No, he actually has a pretty long lever. But even then, you know, probably not. Samusha's got a lot of. Here's the thing: like straight in a hook, Samusha might beat Philip. That's the thing. So I actually think Samusha's maybe harder than Philip. So yeah, I think only Vitaly and Philip can surpass Hermes. I'm not that high on Philip yet, but Philip is certainly better than these low rate super heavyweights. That's all I'm saying. But I'm not sure if he's ready. So, okay, why would we not put two hype trains against each other? Why should we protect our hype trains? Let's find out who the fucking real hype train is. Why are we putting them in a little bubble wrap safety area and say, okay, here, you pull the light guys and you're going to pull the light guys and you guys stay apart from each other and, you know, don't yell at each other until dad comes home. Why are we doing that? Fucking let's see who the real motherfucker is. Let's see who one of them is a prospect and one of them isn't a prospect, and let's find out. You know, and the only way to do that is have them pull each other. That'd be the way to do it. Battalion Hermes would be good, but you know, I don't think it's going to happen at this next one. GVW card's great. Straight up GVW card's great. Yeah, super awesome. Yeah, I got the table in there, Benji. But yeah, have the prospects pull each other. Let's find out who the fucking real next up and coming guy is, instead of like protecting them and having them both going up against like, you know, way lighter people, or, you know, because the problem is Philip beat Matt and then everyone goes, oh, well, he beat him because he's heavier. So it's like, now who do you put Philip up against? You can put him at the bottom of the super heavyweights and no one will believe in him. Or you could put him at up against another heavy prospect. And then now it's like, okay, it's super heavyweight versus super heavyweight. Interesting. I will do a live commentary of GBW. 100%. 100%. Because there's no way I'm going to Georgia. So the least I'm going to do is at least a live commentary. Anyone know what the date on that thing is? It's like mid-October, right? So yeah. I didn't see Devon pull Philip on a side table, but like practice is literally meaningless. You know, of course, there's all people, oh, well, Devon stonewalled Philip in practice, and then Matt gives Devon trouble in practice, right? And we all saw how, you know, useful that method of analysis was, right? It was pretty clearly pretty useless, right? It wasn't even close. So practice, really, you can't take anything from it. Same thing goes for Nugo. Oh, you know, Devon was holding Nugo easily, but Matt gives him trouble. Matt's going to kill Nugo. And, you know, wasn't close at all. 18th of October. Okay, yeah. I'll definitely be able to do that then. Prime John would absolutely destroy Philip, yeah. Listen, Philip's not the second coming of Christ, but he can beat the low-tier super heavyweights right now. Who wins Riker to Terrence? That match is this is good. It's best right now. Like, you got to do it right now. because if you wait too long, then it becomes not as interesting. Because Reichert is like this, and Terrence is, like Terrence is like this is level. He's maybe going like this, like slowly, whereas Reichert is like this right now. So you have to do it literally like today, this year, because after this year, it's not interesting. Philip versus Brian Shaw, it would never happen because Philip's just not popular enough, but Philip would like totally destroy him. I mean, you can't go life and death with Brandon Allen and then turn around and beat him. Normally I agree with a lot of your takes, but you are plain wrong about the prospect versus prospect. It's not the way to do it. UFC has shown this many times. No need to have that. What do you mean? UFC does prospect versus prospect all the time. What are you talking about? Like that's basically the whole that's the fight game is prospect versus prospect, Like Malcolm Wellmaker and Alexandre Pantoja. They're about to do that. Oh, no. Not Alexandre Topuria, not Pantoja. Yeah, Pantoja. He's not ready for Pantoja. But yeah, Wellmaker and Alexandre Topuria. That's happening literally. It's going to happen soon. They do prospect versus prospect all the fucking time. What are you talking about? Now, normally you get a hot prospect, you feed him a few cans, then you put together a highlight reel, and then you have them face each other. Like they had Shara Bullet and Michael Venom Page. That's a perfect example of prospect versus prospect. The whole fucking league is prospect versus prospect. What are you talking about? I don't know what that means. Yeah, Philip's definitely not 27. What's the full match list for East vs. West 20? Epic, Levan, and Devon going to be? Yeah, I mean, the full match list isn't out there. So, yeah, I happen to know it, but it's not out there. You should make a list of the highest IQs in arm wrestling. Dude, the problem is the amount of fucking hate I'm going to get for that list is going to be insane. But I'm realizing that, I literally am incapable of making a list that doesn't get hate because it's a new prospect because he was in Bellator before. Come on, fucking Henry Bowerslaw. Come on, bro. Fucking come on. We didn't know how he would do up against UFC fighters because he's been sitting against Bellator cans the whole fucking time. Come on. Can you run a poll if Americans would buy GVW pay-per-view? Who the fuck cares? Dinah Zauer versus Zaranov. I think Zauer is going to smoke him. I don't see any way that Zaranov keeps his wrist in any capacity. And I don't think I've ever seen Zaranov really have a great flop press. He flopped against Mike, but everybody flops against Mike. And so, I wouldn't exactly think it. Svetkov couldn't pin Frank with a top roll. It would be cool to watch. Here's the thing. You can say that it's because he couldn't top roll Frank. Frank has a really strong hand. But Frank would not Frank and Philip. The problem is I actually think Philip has more arm. But yeah, Philip's too tricky in the setup. He would climb too high. And that Svetkov is not the same Svetkov we know about now. Completely different guy now. So yeah, Svetkov would completely bully Frank now. And Philip would also bully Frank now. I mean, just watch Frank and Matt and then watch Philip and Matt. Different levels, different levels. Plus, Frank's got his hands full. He's going to lose to Nugo pretty soon here. And he's cutting down weight in order to do it. It's tough. Robert versus Engen is a match that does need to happen. Tell me that wouldn't sell stupid amounts of pay-per-view. That would be awesome. Then we were talking about two different things. Yeah, maybe we have a different definition of prospect. You mean prospect is like a new person. Prospect and new person to me is different. Or is the same. It can be the same. Maybe for you it's different. So yeah. Hate's a good thing though. Yes, but it's just I'm just getting fucking slammed with messages and my notifications are just blowing up and it's a bunch of people who are just saying a bunch of stupid shit. You should pay your editor at least $100 per edit. Yeah. I'm sure you're not biased in that at all. I am in Vegas. I don't know what you mean see you this week, but I am in Vegas. Also, I don't really know what the deal with the practice is. I'm trying to go to practices. It's just the group chat that I was invited to. It feels like they don't have to talk about it. So message me on Instagram and tell me how to fucking get in the know about where practice is. Because I've only been to one practice since I moved here. Yeah, probably. I'll probably be the only pay-per-view purchase. And frankly, I kind of don't support their event because it's against East vs. West. I mean, it's against their contracts and stuff. So I might actually pirate the thing, frankly. I even though I'm against piracy, I might pirate this event. Frank versus Nugo, who you got? I think Frank is going to get murdered. Will not be close. I mean, Frank lost to who is it? Crassi, like badly. Nugo spanked Crassi. So yeah. Let's see. Starkov mentioned he just had a war before facing Frank. That sounds about right. Yeah. New league won't do great. No, it won't. It's a bunch of Eastern Europeans, and the press conference is going to be boring. There's going to be no promotion. We don't even know if they can run an event yet. Like, are they going to have good lighting? Are they going to have good cameras? Are they going to have good production? We don't even know yet. So, like, you're so bold to say it'll do great. We don't even know, can they pay the athletes? Like, we're at step 0, which is we're announcing matches. I can announce matches for an event and not have to fucking put up any money. You know, like, are they capable of running an event? We need to learn that. Philip, I've actually been singing your praises for the last like 20 minutes, letting everybody know how trying to make people think I'm delusional, and then you're going to be set against someone way less than the people who I say are going to beat. People will think I'm an idiot, and then they want to bet with me, and then I take their money. It's like that's the loop. But you got some people in here saying that Reichard will absolutely spank you around, so keep that in mind. Let's see. Henry, who's more loyal to you, Unix or the Wolf? I don't know who the Wolf is. If you mean like arm wrestling Wolf, I mean, I don't think of either of them as loyal to me. We're friends. I mean, I don't know. They're both loyal and not loyal. I don't know how to say it. Okay. I now admit Philip would win. Philip would win. I have learned more about two-arm arm wrestling against elite arm wrestlers, and I was wrong. I know who Vitaly will face at East vs. West 20, but I can't say it, so I'm not going to speculate because it's not fair for me to speculate when I know the truth. But it's a cool match. Let's see. Exactly. We would all pay $50 pay-per-view for that. Robert versus Engen. There we go. Roy will buy it. There you go. They haven't, like, here's the thing. They don't have a website. They don't have a pay-per-view link up. Like, this is where I'm saying, like, we don't even know if they're capable of running an event. They haven't shown they're able to do it yet. So, let's see. What do you mean I'm talking about them like they're cavemen? How so? Philip, we need an answer, actually. Is you and Reichard being discussed behind the scenes? We're very curious, because I think everybody wants Philip versus Reichard. There's just some people who are saying 11, Benji. It's really good. It's really good. I can tell you the card, right? Or honestly, you can just message Dexter. He'll probably let you know. But yeah, really good. Really good. The moment I saw it, I said to myself, East versus West is back. You know, like it was like the moment I saw it, I go, boom. This is proof the fucking East is back. The West is back. They can actually come together and make like a good fucking card of like quality, like the guys we want to see against the guys we want to see. Yes. Okay. Just put a little emoji if maybe something is happening in the future. You know, that's all we're asking for. Just a little hint, you know? All right. With the Swiss Open, yeah, dude. And I even forgot about the Swiss Open till Alex Baccarazzi told me about it. Like, oh my God, it's gonna be really, really, really good. So yeah. If Vitaly gonna pull right-handed next East vs. West, that means Levan won't pull till next year. Yeah, like most likely. I mean, he had a match against Jerry in December, and then he had a match against, he just had in June with Hermes. So it's about every 6 months, and it'll probably be early next year or late this year he'll pull somebody. But you never know. I mean, like Vitaly against his opponent, maybe he wins really easy, and we're all like, dude, let's get Levan and Vitaly at the end of the year, and just fucking boom, they book it. Devon faces the loser and then faces the winner. Could be like that. If you pay me $1,000, I will show my asshole right now live on stream. Yeah. And by proxy, I would also tell you the entire card. No problem. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, here's the thing. You two are talking shit on Instagram. like, here's why this match is great. You two are two like proud men. You know, you will not listen to him tell you that he'll beat you, and he will not listen to you tell him you'll beat him. So you two will just be like fucking this the whole lead up. It will be really fun. And then at the end of it, it's an interesting match for, you know, some people. So yeah, set that thing up. That'll be very good. I heard there's going to be more matches at East vs. West 20. I don't know what you mean by more matches. I don't know. Maybe it will be. Maybe it will be. Opponent East vs. West tournament. I don't know if you need to qualify for this. I think anybody can. It's called the Swiss Open, Benji. It's open to people. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Pay them the grand. There you go. Philip Larson, for me, it's better to both you guys. You pull the 150. Well, okay, he pulled a 105 guy, which is even worse. But like, if he's like, here's the thing: if they want to go up against someone established, they go up against someone way lighter. So you got to pick your poison. Should he go up against a heavy guy? Well, then he needs to go up against a newer heavy guy. If you want him to go up against a lighter guy, well, then it can be an established guy, but he needs to be way lighter. He cannot go up against an established guy in his weight category because he's going to get spanked. So, like, you can't complain that they're going up against light guys and then also complain that he's going up against a prospect. You have to pick one or the other. Or he just doesn't pull anybody, which is lame. I think Philip's leaving pretty soon, but yeah. Yeah, okay, it can mean. Yeah, fair enough. I won't get spanked. Listen, you will 100% get spanked against Levan and Devon right now. Those two and Vitaly. Vitaly, Levan, and Devon would spank you. But maybe some other people you will not get spanked. I'll say right now, you and Alex, you and Corey, you at a minimum go down with a fight. Those are not easy matches. You know, those are, but honestly, like, I think you win both. And I know it's delusional, but I think you win both. You probably also want a Devon before Vitaly versus Devon. I don't think you have a matchmaking brain. Not like what do you mean? Is it bad to want Devon versus Vitaly? Here's the thing. When you think about matches, you need to think about two things. Is it good for pay-per-view sales, and is it a good match? And it only needs to be one of those two things. And really, it only needs to be good for pay-per-view sales. I'll set a bad match that people get excited for before I'll set a good match people don't care about. Like, if you want a war, I can tell you right now, set up Sasha Andreev and Arsen Khachatryan. That's a dogfight 100% of the time. But none of you care about that match. Not one of you people would buy the pay-per-view because of it. Versus right now, if I just set Matt against Nugo again, we'd all be like, man, I can't wait to see this. And Nugo spanks him, and I know he does. So it's like, that's when it comes down to the matchmaking. You need to think about what's a good lead-up, what's a good mid-match, and what actually is a close arm wrestling match. And these are three different things. So Philip and Reichard is a good pre-match. There was a lot of hype before it. It is an interesting match. The match is one-sided. But these two things are really good. So it's okay to do those two good things. So I get where you're coming from, but I think I have such a good matchmaking mind that you think I have a bad matchmaking mind. Trust me, I consider all of these things. But Reichard's hype doesn't die if he loses to a guy who weighs 400 pounds. I promise you. And I know that because all of you can't wait to see the next mask match, even though he just got thrown around, you know? Dennis or Philip? Probably Philip, only because Dennis's fingers were always very short. Philip's got, more structure. He's got more potential to be big. I mean, Dennis was only, I say only, I mean, he was 140 kilo and fucking ripped, but he was 140 kilo, Philip's 180. So let's see. I want to see Jabba the Hutt, Jerry pull someone. We all want Jerry to come back. Jerry's also great. Always great. Also, another person who would spank you, Jerry Cataract would spank you, Philip. Look like it isn't available for anyone trying to enter. I'll enter left arm, training hard the next 2 months. There you go, Benji. RVJ versus Reichard. Come on. If you're saying this, you have not watched too many RVJ matches. RVJ would get thrown around worse than Don Underwood. It would not be okay. It would be rough, rough, rough. RVJ versus Nugo already happened. And RVJ got like thrown through the table. Tall Paul Hutchins, I see you in all the chats, man. You gotta keep up with the matches, dude. Henry, 1 minute. I guess I'll just stay live through it, but we'll see. You can't ban George in any sport. They hold top 4 pound for pound rankings in UFC also. I don't know what you mean by top 4, or like they have 2 people in the top 4. That's true. They don't hold the whole top 4. I don't care what Philip agreed with. I understand what Philip wants, but Philip is thinking about what's good for him. He doesn't care about the East versus West company. Philip is 100% right to say, hey, give me a few more guys before I go up against a prospect. But yeah, Philip agreeing with you doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It's very different things. Philip is not you're talking to me like Philip is Hunter Campbell, okay? Philip is an arm wrestler. He meant peak RVJ. Okay, peak RVJ, sure. We all know it's Jerry versus Vitaly, Henry. Don't try to hide it. I mean, like, I don't know how you know it's Jerry versus Vitaly. Like, I wouldn't be so sure about that. I wouldn't be so sure. RVJ is a lot like Travis Bajan, where motivation isn't always there. I don't even think it's that. I think RVJ is plagued by issues in his personal life that make it difficult. Yeah. And frankly, he is alcoholic, and that is an issue. Philip versus Devon. Devon would destroy Philip. What's the worst thing you would do for $1,000 right now? I don't know. Also, I would not actually show my asshole. Like, that's a bit much. Jerry is top 3 to 4 in the world when he's on fire. I think here's the thing. When everybody's on fire, Jerry is not top 3 to 4. But if Jerry's on fire and nobody else is on fire, then sure. But Jerry loses to Devon, Hermes, Levan always, so he can't be top 3. You can't press a short lever. You don't beat Devon and obviously Levan. So he can't be top 3, but maybe 4th place potentially. Because 4th place, I mean, on fire Jerry, right? We're talking about an on fire Jerry, not a regular Jerry. On fire Jerry, he can pin Vitaly. He can beat Gennady, Morozov. I mean, a couple of his tough outs he can beat, so sure. Let's see. He agrees with my statement that it's better to put Philip and Reichert against established pullers first to gauge their level. Philip pulled a 115 guy and Pavel got injured. Yeah, that's his opinion. I totally agree that Philip can have a different opinion from me. That does not make him correct from a promotional standpoint and selling pay-per-views. Very different things. But yes, I agree that Philip agrees with you. If that's what you're trying to get from me. Totally, I acknowledge Philip thinks you are correct. But it's different. Wallace Dilly pulling with John Brzenk, Travis Bajan, and Donna Understand just recently was nice too. Wallace is tank. Wallace is very good, yeah. Nick, did you see the top 10 rankings in East vs. West? It's 90% WAF pullers. They came from WAF, but they're, here's the thing. WAF in the 60 kilo division is not arm wrestling. Like 60 kilos is like what? Like 200, 130 pounds? How many guys do you know weigh 130 pounds? Almost none of them. So it's, yeah. I'm not thinking short term at all. Because here's the thing. Arm wrestling is not like the UFC. In arm wrestling, you can lose and you don't lose any of your hype. So it's a little different. Like in UFC, a guy losing their undefeated record's like a big deal. Like, man, he was undefeated, he just lost. In arm wrestling, everybody's been defeated. There's no undefeated. There's just going up against guys who are too easy. So I promise you, it doesn't kill the hype to have 2 prospects go against each other, especially when Philip let's say Philip beats Reichert, but then he turns around and then beats Corey West. We don't look at Reichert like he's bad at all. We just go, okay, sure, fair enough. Ban this Nick BR. I don't know. Nick BR is fun. They're just arguing. It is what it is. Sort of. I mean, when you're really dealing with alcoholism, it's not about motivation sometimes. It can be like needing a person in your life to kind of acknowledge it and help you out. Because when you're deep in it, it's very easy to not acknowledge your own problems because you don't want to admit you're an alcoholic. Who wants to say they're an alcoholic, right? So a little bit more nuanced than that, in my opinion. Yeah, I know Matt Rhodes is live, but we're having fun. If Vitaly versus Devon doesn't happen this year, who does Levan pull in December? Vitaly. Yeah. It'll be, or it's I mean, I can't say too much. But yeah, Levan versus Henry girlfriend left-handed. I'm telling you right now, my girlfriend against Barbora, if she trained a little bit, I'd be pretty good. Yeah, we could agree to disagree, Henry. Agree to disagree. Fair enough. Nice, bro. Looking at all the ranking cards left and right in all categories, it's 90% Europeans from WAF. You are here mentioning Travis and RJ. These guys aren't in the top 59 anymore. Like, I don't know what I'm reading the chat, man. But yeah, like, I mean, here's the thing. WAL also fit in a lot of these guys. The problem is the WAL was filled with a bunch of old heads. So, but like, I mean, just look at Todd Hutchings, for example. Todd Hutchings was WL to the end. Devon was WL. Here, if I look at my pound for pound list, we got Devon, we got Todd Hutchings, we had Giannis Amelins, another guy. Giannis Amelins isn't on the pound for pound list, but he's like right there. He's right underneath it. We've also got Hermes. Hermes was there. We have why can I not think of his name right now? We got Dave Chafee. So there's plenty of guys from WAF or WAL who are still at the very, pointy end of the super heavyweight division. So I wouldn't be so quick to just say like, oh, old WAL guys suck. Yeah. Oh, Paul Lynn. Paul Lynn's another guy. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of guys from the WAL who, and also, yeah, that's the other thing. WAL has been gone for 5-6 years now. WAF is still feeding new talent. If WAL was still here, there would be a crop of new talent from WAL. It's just they're not here anymore. So it's not a fair comparison. I consider them to be both. They are, like, Hermes is probably more WAF than WAL, but Amelins is about as WAL can get, but he's also about as WAF can get. So he's from both. So yeah, Jerry's another one. Great pick. Michael Todd's another one. I can just scroll through. I'm looking through. Brad Grundy never pulled a WL, right? I don't think so. Craig Toulier is another one. And Craig Toulier, again, is on the pointy end of his weight division. Like, Craig Toulier is not some fucking pushover that we need to act like is some bum just because he's American. He's actually very good. If you look at his match results. But if we say that he's American, we just ignore the fact that he's pretty good. Hermes faces Vitaly this year. Who are you betting on? Man, first things first, I'm not betting. It's too close. I don't have they had a match that was literally this close. Like, they were right there. And then since then, Vitaly's gotten a certain amount better and Hermes has gotten a certain amount better. So because of that, it's very hard for me to predict either one with a high degree of confidence, which would lead me to not bet. Gun to my head, I'm picking Vitaly, I believe, because I think Vitaly made mistakes in the first match that I think he can adjust on. And I think Hermes pulled perfectly last time. And it was just, it was. And the truth of it is, I don't think Hermes does particularly well against top rollers. He tends to struggle against top rollers. He loves a hooker. He loves a presser. He struggles against a top roller. The wrist, it goes pretty quickly whenever he goes against a pure top roller. Yeah, I would very much so like to see him face Vitaly. That would be very interesting to me. Vitaly and Jerry is interesting. Hermes and Jerry isn't interesting, though. That's the only problem. If you get those three, Hermes and Jerry isn't interesting, but Jerry and Vitaly is interesting. Hermes and Vitaly is interesting. Fucking Jerry and Devon's a little interesting if Jerry's in a really good condition. But yeah. Anyway, all right, about an hour, 10 minutes in. I think I'm going to call it. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. And, I talked a little bit about the pound-for-pound list, but hopefully I explained a little bit of the reasonings behind my decisions. And, anyway, thank you, everybody, for showing up, and have a good one.